Shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Coulter, CB Coach Boy. We got another fantastic episode for you guys today. Trade deadline just ended about hour and a half, 2 hours ago. And we're going to be reacting to all of the big trades. And we will be answering the questions you guys sent over to Chris on Instagram or those who texted me personally. So, yeah, and if anyone has any questions that you might have asked that was trade related, we'll acknowledge it during our trade deadline segment. And if not, we will, of course, acknowledge it after. But make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a single upload from any other of the great shows on this network. Go do the same thing for our personal channel. Audio listeners, leave a like, follow, 5-star review, comment, all the good stuff. But let's get down with Summits and Plummets. Heading over to Danny.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a summit. It's gonna be regarding food.
Okay.
Looked on DoorDash, ordered me some Shake Shack, had a buy one get one.
Okay.
Burger, little smoke shack. Got the truffle fries. Oh my, bang, beautiful.
Yo,
day.
you put me on the truffle fries. You put me on the
So
truffle
good.
fries.
So good.
Yeah.
Very special.
Those are great. They're greatness. They're truly greatness. I can't lie. One of the few times Danny has put me on to something.
Yeah, man.
Half the time I don't even try it. I'm scared.
Yeah. Dude, you just gotta have trust sometimes.
I'm not trusting you. Look, okay. Anything like coconut pina colada related, I can't blame you. That's
You just don't
not
like.
I just don't like it, so I can't blame you for that. I'm not trying a key lime pie milkshake, man. I'm good.
That's so good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. You offered to split a key lime pie milkshake with Reese cup on the table, with chocolate, with vanilla, with a mint chocolate chip on the board. Now that I can understand the perspective of not liking, so those in glass houses we don't throw stones. But that's pretty hilarious. Double summit though, or is there a plummet on this fine Thursday night?
Planning some beautiful vacations coming up. So
there we go. Does the
we go
Boston trip count as a vacation?
Mini one.
Mini, yeah.
Chris, I'm scared of flying though. That's gonna be my summit. That's gonna be my plummet right now. I'm so scared of flying right now.
As you should be. It is ridiculous.
Yep. We going to Toronto this year. We driving.
It's not that far.
Across the border.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do it.
How far is it from Philly?
Like 7. Not too bad.
I have no idea. Nah, Us texted me. This was like 2 weeks ago. He texted me. He was like, "Yeah, you got to get your passport, bro. We're hitting Toronto this year." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
You better go request it now.
I know. Everyone's telling me that. I know.
I can tell you a way to get it, but I can't say it on stream.
Well, regardless, I don't need it for the winter. You won't catch me in Toronto in the winter. No shot. It looks like a different beast up there. I can't believe DeMar DeRozan wanted to be there.
Not me.
Yeah. No, we can rotate to Chris though for his summits and plummets.
Speaking of Canada, that's where my dad's been living for 15 years. So yeah, he can tell you all about it. I know it sounds very random, but that is a fact. My summit is every year. The trade deadline doesn't disappoint, but this year, I don't say every year. Most years, the trade deadline doesn't disappoint, but this year it has been special. Superstars getting traded, stars getting traded, Duke alums, Trey Jones being traded, and the Kings and Bulls being the Kings and Bulls. It's just nothing you can miss about this thing. So I really enjoyed it. Just checking my phone every 20 minutes, trying to see if I missed something. Just the fun of the trades we thought was going to happen, even up until like the last hour, was just a real fun time. So I'll give my summit to that. Double summit. Actually, I'm gonna try to like triple summit almost. The All-Star jerseys are fire this year. I really
They're
like
amazing. That red one is
heat.
gorgeous.
I like all
It's
three of them,
gorgeous.
but the red one's heat. Yeah, I really like the All-Star jerseys this year. I think Adam Silver's cooking right now. He is on a different planet. He made the Mavs trade Luke. No, I was playing. He's just on a different planet right now. They're balling. So I'm happy about that. And then rivalry 1v1. I've been talking about it, I think about my last two summits. DJ Carrington and why can't I think of her name? The one who she got into it with all year, not named Caitlin Clark. They're playing the first round of 1v1 in the Unrivaled League. That is so cool to me because it's like a little rivalry and you get to play it out 1v1. I think that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to watching that and all the other 1v1 matchups. But yeah, just a bunch of good hoop stuff all the way around.
Yeah, definitely been a great week for basketball. And I was like the trade deadline, it's usually great. This year it's been like borderline overstimulating. Like it's ESPN just reposted a picture from Shams. I don't know how well everyone's going to be able to see this, but it's like, yeah, I don't know how well everyone's going to be able to see that, but like that is just all of the new, like, not saying everyone here is stars, but these are all like role player, like good role players and up. And we get into the echelon of best in the world type talents, like because Luka's in there, top 10 players, AD, top 20 guys, with Jimmy.
Yeah, but the number one move is really Ben Simmons probably working on a buyout.
We need that. Joe Mazzulla is going to turn him into a monster.
Too bad the Cavs are going to get him. And the Cavs are just building a Celtics stopper.
Yeah, good luck with that. Tatum averages 27 on DeAndre Hunter, so take that for what you will.
Not on Ben Simmons, though.
When's the last time Ben's even tried to guard Jason Tatum? Because last time I seen him hit him with a hit and beat with a spin move, and then he dunked on Ben, and that was like 7 years ago. Nonetheless,
don't got the same jump.
He doesn't have the same jump. That's certainly a take. Yep, that is. You're acting like he's 85, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he was 21 when it happened.
What is he, 19 still? Come on now.
Oh, here we go. My summit though. I mean, outside of a great trade deadline. Oh, basically doing like a little like watch room this weekend for the game. Me and Danny cooked up the idea. It's gonna be some. It's either they lose and you drown in the misery, or you win and you celebrate with a bunch of people you don't know on a street that has God knows what's on it. But at the end of the day, man,
They gotta end.
End of the day gotta end. Unless you win a Super Bowl, you choose when the day end. It's gotta end, but at least you get to choose. I'll have work the next day regardless. So,
will I remember a damn thing about it? Probably not.
Maybe not.
And that'll be because I fall off a street pole, not because I drank too much.
Yeah, let's not. I don't know if I trust you climbing any light poles or anything. If we had to pick someone, I'm opting for Chen to do it. I think he would have the most optimal success. I think he would have the most success doing it though. Anyway, man, let's get into this. Let's get into this trade deadline. We are starting with the Luka Doncic and AD swap because I'm sure people have been waiting for a while to
wake up. You need to wake up.
Yeah, Chris was spamming us wake up the whole time. We were up. We were just in Philly bouncing around. We weren't really on our phone. When I go outside, I see Chris is blowing up my phone. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm up. Wait, what? And I'm sitting there, and it sobered me up. Like, I'm like, wow, that TV right over there says Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. We're nearly a week later, and I'm still like stumbling over words about it. But full trade is Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the 2029 first round pick for Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Oh, and the Jazz got to hit Jalen Hood-Schifino in 2 seconds.
They
I think
waived him.
you
by
all
the way.
view.
They waived him. I do want to let y'all know they waived him. So I want to hear more of that nonsense that, Shafino's going to get a chance. No, he's not good at basketball. I'll see you later. Learn your league, brother.
Yeah, the Jazz just been getting their hands on every trade that they can, but it's just like they aren't. I don't know. They're not getting worse or better at the same time. They're just getting players that aren't doing much and stacking the second round picks. But I guess we can start with Chris. I mean, like this affects you personally on several levels. The hometown kid is coming to play in Dallas. Luka is going to go play with your favorite player over in LA. Kyrie, Anthony Davis. This is a souped up 2018 Celtics fans' dream. I guess we can start with your reaction, and then we can break down the fits, who wins, who loses, grades, and all that on this one.
Well, geez Louise, I was watching The Wire. Wow, and it came across my screen. And I was like, bro, somebody hacked Shams' account. That's the first thing I said. I said, bro, Shams is hacked. And I looked. I was like, it's coming from a bunch of different other places too. One second. So I'll go to Twitter. You know, Twitter's the best place for information if you haven't learned. X, I'm sorry, is the best place for information, obviously. Wrong. And I was like, oh, this is real. This is a real thing. And my first thing was like, why? Like, I didn't understand it. But that's my first initial reaction was why. But then because I knew that AD wasn't getting an extension, that was already kind of said already. So the Lakers side of it made sense to me. But from everything I was hearing and from everything everybody else was hearing, that Luka was going to resign, like, you know, even though $350 million, that's insane. But you do it, you pay him, like, you know, that's what you think you would do. So when it happened, I was really just shocked, bro. Like I didn't believe it. But at the same time, my first initial reaction wasn't that it wasn't going to work. I think that was a lot of people's initial reaction that it wasn't going to work. LeBron and Luka can't play together, blah, blah, blah. And they acted like the Mavs traded Luka for Roy Hibbert. That's what was infuriating me. Because I agree. I do agree with this point. I think Luka is closer. When I say Luka and AD are both top 10, I do believe Luka is closer to 1 than 10, and AD is closer to 10 than 1. I do believe that. But you still get a top 10 player and you fix a hole. So I think I'll wait to give my whole side on next. I know we'll go through that just because of this thing. But yeah, my initial reaction was just really shocked because it's not something you see. And it was no rumblings about it. Like it wasn't no Luka been upset or AD's wanting out. AD's wanting the center. Like, you know, it wasn't that yet. So that was the main thing I'd say. Just surprised, bro.
Yeah, obviously, I have to agree entirely. It's just like you get like a good 5 to 6 questions in your head the moment you see it. The first one is, was Shams Charania of ESPN hacked? And then he confirms, yes, this is 1,000% real. That's when it lets you know that trade's kind of stupid.
And Bobby Marks doubled down.
Yeah.
Quote tweet.
So you have, was he hacked? Okay, he's not hacked. Did they talk to anyone else? Or I guess not even that. Why? Why trade him? All right, you get the answer, you know, weight concerns, conditioning concerns. Okay. Did you talk to anyone else? No. There was rumblings, you maybe talked to another team or two, but ultimately Rob Pelinka, you know, he kept Nico Harrison on the hush. The next one is 1 first. That you couldn't get the 2031 too. I mean, that's a masterclass by Rob Pelinka. Or apparently it's like, oh, no, I'm taking a risk too. Like if you have questions about his health, like then so do I, of course. So you can take 1 first, and here I am being so brave, taking on this good player, but ultimately just you know, never in shape. You would think he was trading for Zion. He traded for a top 5 player in the world and top 1 when he's on his absolute best behavior. And I guess your 5th question would be like,
mine was what's next.
How would Luka and LeBron fit? But like, you're not even worried about that.
You're really just getting it for after LeBron retires, which is a year or two. So yeah, fair.
I'll be honest with the moves made around it. Well, first of all, when you're trading for a player of Luka Doncic's caliber, you could be the Brooklyn Nets. That's a win now and win later move just because of how good he is now. And second, with the other moves that the Lakers have made, getting Mark Williams, I think that kind of shows like, yeah, they're down to win this year. Like we're not wasting a single second of our time with LeBron James. Mark Williams is 23. Rui, I think, is 27. Like you got a bunch of guys in their mid-20s. Then you have Bronny, who's 20, who, if he develops right, maybe he could be your backup guard one day. AR is 25, I'm pretty sure. Like
I think
you're
Rui's under
built to win. You're built to win now and later, and that is the best part about it all. You aren't wasting LeBron James, and that 2031 pick. Look, maybe there's a chance that Luka Doncic just is not good by the age of 30, but like I'm gonna assume him and Austin Reeves are gonna age very gracefully. I don't think so. Like unless injuries start to stack up, I do not think so. Like there's maybe there's a shot where like okay maybe this conditioning thing's real and his lower body injuries start to add up. Like he's had the calf injury this year, he had a knee injury in the playoffs last year. The knee injury didn't keep him out or anything, but still the wear and tear. But I think he'll be fine. Like for this, at least this year on, he doesn't have to worry about the conditioning aspect of it because you're splitting. He is like he's played with Kyrie, but in terms of having someone on his team that is able to facilitate and essentially run an offense, survive without him on the court, he had Kyrie for a season and a half, and now he is like the greatest offensive engine of all time. So maybe not at this moment, but he once was and still is probably a top 5 offensive engine. So, Danny, what were your immediate thoughts, reactions, or maybe we should say next morning, but yeah, the LeBron. He said LeBron, oldest player in the league.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. What's wrong with dude?
It was like I love the video where it's like LeBron scream if you love this, and like they'll have him screen and they'll do like they'll edit the stuff with his pregame ritual. Is the geek.
Nah, like my story, I posted on my Instagram story, bruh. I am so confused right now, and that was my honest reaction. I was so confused when it happened, and I was so confused after it happened. So, to be completely honest, wish nothing but the best for the Dallas Mavericks. But unfortunately, they're going to be like the Boston Cuck Sox soon.
That's insane.
Bro, they're watching a team over in LA. They're feeding a team over in LA an MVP player. Mookie Betts. Yeah. Middle of his prime. They're like, we're not going to pay you. We think we have issues that no one else knows about. We'll give you away for pennies.
May I ask what the actual concern was with Mookie Betts, though?
Nothing. They still want to pay him.
Oh, well. They didn't even make nothing up. Like, they couldn't have been like,
They tried to pay him, and they were like, nope. Their owner is just cheap.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay. Now that we've got instant reactions out of the way, we got to talk some actual X's and O's of it all. So, let's talk Mavericks because it's so easy to dunk on them for giving up like Luka Doncic. It's very easy to dunk on them, but they got Anthony Davis in return. Let's not act like this isn't a top 10 player in the world.
For what? 2 years?
My fault.
2 years, 3 years max.
Yeah, I had to mute you for a second because Luna was going off, or Apollo. I'm gonna assume it's Apollo. But anyway, we have to get into the actual X's and O's. Mavericks do get a top 10 player in the world to pair him with Kyrie Irving. And, in some other news, they traded Quentin Grimes to get Caleb Martin because they didn't want to pay Grimes. But from what Mavericks fans have been saying, they're very happy about Max Christie, especially in the first game that he played.
Grimes turned down that first extension the first time. That was really why. He turned down 14 a year, or 12 a year, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess here's the rundown for the Maverick side of it. Let's talk about fit. Let's give them a grade. And then let's give them a ceiling with this newly constructed team. I guess I can go first. I mean, the fit is marvelous. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis gets to play with Gafford and Lively. There's two centers, just like way back where he got to play with JaVale and Dwight. These two are obviously better than JaVale and Dwight were at that point, but defensively, this is one of the best teams in the NBA. You took away a liability on that end, and you're replacing them with the second best defender in the NBA. You could argue the first, but I'll just say top three for sake of argument. A top three defensive anchor in the NBA. PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, at all times will be roaming that front court to go along with Najee Marshall. I think this could be a really special defensive unit. Offensively, I don't know if the firepower is necessarily there to go duke it out with like an OKC or a Denver on their best nights when Michael Porter is hitting his shots and Russell Westbrook is hitting shots. But they also have the defensive power to like maybe we can hold them down and Kyrie and Anthony Davis can go ballistic. Which isn't impossible. That's a recipe for success in the postseason for a lot of teams. For a grade, I am gonna go C-, and Anthony Davis is holding that up very, very much. I don't like they only got one pick out of it. That's like just insane to me. But you still get a top 10 player in the NBA. You're still in a win now timeline because of the two players that you have. I'm really excited for the defense. C-. I've seen Fs. There's just no way a trade involving Anthony Davis is getting anything lower than like a D+ from me. No, I'm going to give it a C-. I like the fit. They're ready to win now. I think their ceiling could be, I'm going to say, a conference finals. On like the hottest of runs, I think they could get to the finals, but I think they would flame out against a Celtics, Cavs, or really any of the top dogs of the East. But that's where I stand on it. Mic's open for either of you guys.
I say I can go because I think my thoughts are very different than the consensus, what the world's thinking right now. Because if you look at it from a basketball standpoint, the fit is perfect. For one, for AD, for two, for Kyrie. Anybody's a real Kyrie fan, you know that he can play Robin, yes, but he's also super effective as a Batman in spurts, right? The one thing he's never had as a Batman in spurts is a dominant big. He's had elite wings in JT and Brown. They were growing to be elite wings. They were good wings at that point in time. But in the sense of looking at it from the whole holistic view, right? I give them a B for the trade. I would say B+ if they got Dalton Connect back with Christie. But I'll say a B for the simple fact that if you listen to what Nico Harrison said, whether you believe it or not, if you agree with it or not, it makes a ton of sense. In the sense that AD, Kyrie, and Clay are all pretty much out the door in 2 to 3 years, right? Luka's extension, you could have signed it this summer, but you also could have signed it in a year or two later. Now, you get off from early, you're already doing what you were going to do anyway, which is restart when you're done with AD, Kyrie, and Clay. So if you really do believe that defense is going to win championship, it's no better move to make because you can't get Wemby in that sense. So in my eyes, if you think you have a 2 to 3 year window until you have to blow it up anyway, because no matter if we believe the conditioning concerns or believe what the reasoning was, they weren't going to pay Luka the $350. Now you got 31 other teams who will, or 30 other teams who will. However many I can't think about right now. We have other teams who would have paid the $350, but now you don't have to worry about it because now you can't get $350. So at the end of the day, if you were not going to pay him, I think this is the best win now move you can make, because what is draft picks going to do for you if you're going to be starting over what is 2025, 2026 draft picks going to really do for you if you're trying to be a contender for the next 2 or 3 years? Now, if you were building for the future users, yes, I agree. You should have probably gotten more, reached out to more teams. Because again, I think I talked about it with y'all in the group. Like the Spurs would have gave up everything to pair Luka and Wemby together, or a Rockets team, or teams that have more assets. But again, for what you want and what you said you were looking for, you got the best defender in the NBA, not named Wemby. period. And you put him with one of the best scorers of all time, in my opinion, in Kyrie Irving. And then now you have all defenders around those two. Najee Marshall, Max Christie, all guys who are going to be 3-and-D, which is what you would need around them anyway. So in my eyes, I don't think it's as horrible as everybody else. Like, if you're a Luka fan, I get you being upset because it's like, why would you trade the guy? I get that. And like I said, I can side with that point too. But as a Mavericks organization, especially with saying what they want to do in the next 2 or 3 years, especially maybe even moving out of Dallas and building a casino and doing all these other things, it makes perfect sense. And I don't think there was a better one guy to get, like a better one-to-one guy, not named Giannis, one of the top three, Giannis or Jokic. There's no other guy that will be available that you can get. So I think people being a little hard on him just because the name of Luka Doncic is ridiculous. Like that sounds crazy to trade. I'm with you at 25. I do get it.
Talking about that 19-year-old phenom who was the EuroLeague MVP.
And he hasn't done anything but make finals and lose. So at the end of the day, he hasn't really done anything. Like, people tell me all the time, making finals doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything if you don't win it. So at the end of the day, he really hasn't done anything. And in reality, the biggest problem they had against the Celtics was him. He could not guard. You can't be getting picked on by Derek White and Andrew Holiday. You can't. Not as the best player, because we can't hide you. You have to be on the court for 45 minutes. So there's no way to do that. So if that was a part of your real concern, like I said, I understand it. I'm not saying I would have made the deal, but in my opinion, I can follow the thing. I think Wendy said that. Like, I wouldn't have done it, but I can follow the thinking. So I give him a B for it.
People are so in between about that finals. Oh, go ahead, Danny. You get your take.
No, I don't have too much to say. Chris really spoke. I'm giving him a B minus though. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't like. I have to give him a minus there, but because Luka is Luka.
That's fair. I think with the finals, though, a lot of people, they're kind of in two boats. One is, Luka Doncic, you were miserable that finals. And I'm not even going to act like you were – I'm not even going to act like he was amazing offensively either. He had a couple hot starts and then it was just shot chucking. And it didn't look pretty by the end of it. And then you can also point it to, guys not hitting their shots, but that's kind of what defense is all about. And NBA analytics are very weird when it comes to percentages on open jumpers. Look, man, 6'10" Jason Tatum running out to contest my shot isn't open. I don't care how far away he is. That's scary. But yeah, I like that you guys are high on it. I just think a player of that magnitude, regardless of what your goals are, a 3-4 year window, I think you've got to walk away with at least that 2031. Like I even said, I kind of like that. I feel like that pick is a little watered down now, and we'll talk about that on the next trade. But it's just tough. But I do believe the Mavericks are still built to compete. Absolutely. I'm very excited to watch this team. They'll certainly be having my eye a lot more. But go ahead, Chris.
I did want to reiterate for the people who are just listening and not watching. I am not saying that I would have made the trade. I do want, like Mark Cuban, I'm not saying I would have done it, but I am saying I do get it to him, like just from a basketball standpoint. I get it, but I'm not. It would be hard pressed for me to say, you know what, at 25, Luka, I don't think you're gonna get all the stuff, whatever issues we have. I don't think you'll get it under control. Like I'm not saying I would do that, but just from a basketball standpoint, if Nico Harrison, what he said was actually true, then it makes a little bit of sense. That's all.
I think another thing of it all, basketball aside or anything, Nico Harrison is a psychopath because you didn't consult with anybody. You didn't talk to Jason Kidd, Jason Kidd went from, like, I'm not gonna lie, probably one of the worst coaches in the NBA to like a pretty reputable coach, like very good defensively. We're gonna find out how good he is offensively without having one of the top engines in the league. We're gonna see what he can do with Kyrie and AD as his main sources of O, but
I'm excited for that.
Not consulting with anyone.
You'll get to see it tonight.
But, and I think on the other end, though,
AD's out, I think, right?
I think he is. I think he is.
Dang, I was hoping.
Yeah, he didn't want to get put in the pick and roll with Tatum. So
man.
I mean, look, if the Mavericks were to get back to the finals and play the Celtics, color me shocked. Like that would be pretty insane. That would be the nastiest sweep of all time, though. I'm not gonna lie. But let's talk about the Lakers side of this, though. let's talk about the Lakers side of this. Rob Pelinka, while I just judged Nico Harrison for not talking to anybody, I have to praise Rob Pelinka for not talking to anybody. Kept it hush. He knew if he brought it to LeBron James, like, you're not trading my boy. Like, I don't care if that's Luka Doncic. You are not trading one of the only teammates I have ever liked. You're not doing it. But, LeBron, as a true professional that he is, it's like, that's my dog, but I get it. This kid is all that. So, Chris, we can start with you on this one. Fit, which this one should be very interesting. Fit, grade, and ceiling for this Los Angeles Lakers team in the trade.
Well, fit, I'm on the side that a lot of people aren't on. I don't understand when some people say, like, they'll tell you this straight out their mouth. Luka and LeBron are two of the 5 best basketball minds in the world, and JJ Redick's a great offensive mind. I don't think they're going to work. I don't think that sentence works. I don't think that sentence works together.
It's an oxymoron. Like,
it makes absolute zero sense. And then you look at it like this, how the roster's constructed right now. Yes, there's some shooting missing. I get it. But Luka and LeBron have always thrived when they had another. Well, I'll say another. Well, Luka's career's been a little shorter, so I wouldn't say always thrive. But he's thrived with another ball handler and 3 wings. That's exactly what they have. They have Austin Reeves, another ball handler. And now they have 3 and D wings. Some of them are separate. One of them's together. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's a 3 and D wing. But you have Vando and Dorian Finney-Smith have been putting people in actual Guantanamo Bay for the last 6 games. Now, I think fit-wise is A+. And the reason I say that is because Luka and Bron can both play out the post, which in this NBA today, nobody has post defense that's not a center. Nobody. So you have to pick and choose which guard or forward you're going to put on which guard or forward in Luka and LeBron. And it's an automatic mismatch. And those two with that brain that they have, with the brains they have basketball-wise, that's going to be tough to guard no matter who's out there with them. That's just my opinion. Because I've watched Luka carry bums. I've watched Bron carry bums. I don't think it's a team of bums over there for the Lakers. So I think that, for one, I give the fit an A, just because I think 2 great minds do that. Now, you said an overall grade on the trade. It's an A+.
Yeah, I would say a grade for the trade and the Lakers ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Okay, grade for the trade, I would say A+. I mean, you don't pass up on Luka. Like, you just don't. Like, no matter what. Luka could be in 400 pounds getting wheeled in there in a wheelchair. I would say yes. Yes, just because, like,
what the low clips like, he said he could have been in the back smoking
crack. I would have still just like, hey, when you're done, brother, here's that contract. Here you go. That's what I would have done afterwards. So I get it.
100 to finish the job.
You know what I'm saying? Like, here, bro.
You could tell him, yo,
you
got to read inner excellence and lock in. You're good, bro.
Inner and outer excellence. Whatever you don't have to do anything. We're paying you that bread.
You just show up on game day, bro. We're good.
Honestly, bro, and you don't even have to come 15 minutes before a stretch and pop on the court. But in reality, I think it's a trade you make every single time, especially, again, from the basketball side of things. They already said that Anthony Davis was not going to get an extension. So at the end of the day, they really traded a problem for a problem. Now, it looks different, but if they didn't want to pay Luka, we don't want to pay AD, we'll figure it out when we swap them. So, again, for the Lakers, you do the trade 100% of the time. So I 100% get that. And I think the Lakers ceiling, and this is going to sound like I'm just a homer or just a LeBron fan, bro.
It's a championship.
It is a championship because I've watched Luka Doncic make a finals with PJ and Gafford and Kyrie, which are solid supporting cast. I've watched LeBron make a finals with Jamario Moon on his team and along with Candace. I've watched that. So what I'm telling you is, I don't care if LeBron's 87 years old, 40 years old with the mind and the basketball skill of Luka Doncic, and I know we'll get to the Mark Williams trade later, that is huge to get a lob threat for both of them. So I think championship is a ceiling because at the end of the day, the Nuggets are going to give everybody a problem because Jokic is just who he is. He's the guy. Outside of the Nuggets, nobody really scares me for the Lakers. Like terrifies me. The Thunder, really good team, but at the end of the day, they gotta deal with Luka as well, and they couldn't last year. Dort can only guard one of them.
They couldn't last year, and that's, I would say, without Kyrie is a great scorer, but I'm talking an enforcer of a scorer, someone who. And
not a jump shooter. There doesn't have to be a jump shooter. Can go make you because so now.
Like Lou Dort. There are a few people that can run through Lou Dort's chest, and Luka and LeBron are 2 of them.
2 of the 4 that can probably do it.
Yeah. So now he can only deal with one of them. What are you about to do for the other one?
Now J-Dub fouls out, or now J-Dub enters the third quarter with 4 fouls. Because you see what I'm saying? It's just the game, and the playoffs slowed the game down so much. Slowing the game down, and Luka and LeBron, that's literally their middle names. They literally want to have a slowed, I bring the ball up for 24. It works. So like I said, I think the ceiling's a championship.
Yeah. Danny, fit, grade, ceiling. Well, you said ceiling.
I gave it.
Championship, so
I gave the grade as B minus. And the fits. Look, I don't know how well it'll fit, but they'll figure it out.
B minus.
Yeah.
For the Lakers?
Oh, I thought you meant overall as a trade.
Oh, no. We're not. I'm not grading both. No. Grade for the Mavs. Grade for the Lakers.
I mean, it's a B plus for the Lakers.
B plus. That's it.
Yeah.
Nah, I think that's way too low.
I love Luka more than anyone.
I don't care how you could want to sleep with Luka. It's an A plus to me.
In my opinion, when LeBron retires, this Lakers team not going to be much different than it was when they had Kobe and a bunch of those bums in the mid 2010s.
Until Jokic comes in 2027.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
I think I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to be very blunt. That is a horrible take, because we were just talking this whole time, and Chris kind of put the emphasis on it, is that we watch Luka carry bums, we watch Bron carry bums. Now the best part is they're together, and this team ain't full of bums. Austin Reeves has been, excellent this year in the off guard spot, bringing the ball up the court. He's been absolutely amazing. Jared Vanderbilt, ever since he's gotten back, picked up right where he left off. Dorian Finney-Smith hasn't been shooting great, but it's all worth it if he's just literally holding down a side of the court. You got Mark Williams, who's going to be a great rim protector. Obviously not going to be Anthony Davis, but he's really been picking it up over the last month of basketball. And now you have like real wing depth. We could be talking about potentially Rui coming off the bench. Rui was a staple starter for this squad. Now he's coming off the bench. He's going to have easier matchups. There's a possibility him and Reeves come off the bench. And that's I'm not the biggest Rui guy. Chris obviously isn't a big Rui guy. Rui coming off the bench would do miracles. I'm giving him an A.
I give him some love. He's been hooping.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially the other night when they're playing the Clippers, it reminded me a lot of Bron with the baby Lakers when he had Lonzo, B.I., and Kuz. They looked a lot like that. They're up, they're running, and they're sitting by midway through the fourth quarter. And that's how things started to pick up before LeBron got hurt. But I give this A+, championship ceiling. The fit, of course you could say, oh, it's two great basketball players, they'll figure it out. And then be like, oh, well, that's what they said with Russ. I was like, okay, I'm going to put Russ and Luka. Here's the difference. One, Russ was very reliant on athleticism at that point in his career. Just wasn't like that anymore. And he also just doesn't have Luka's basketball IQ. They both are turnover, like they both throw the ball away a lot. But it's a little bit more than that. It's picking and choosing your spots. It's Russ ultimately never finding out that he's a bad three-point shooter. Whereas Luka, he's going to get to his spot however he wants. You hear people talk about how all the time everyone's got a rhythm. He has a one-of-one rhythm. You can't track him. It's very weird. But with that being said, I would say I just want to see, guys, we definitely answered thoughts on Luka, Bron fit, 80 Mavs.
You know what I want to say, though? The NBA trade deadline told me one thing. It's that the Knicks got fleeced last offseason when they traded 5 firsts.
Finessed. Super finessed.
Okay, I can agree they got finessed, but I don't think this trade is exactly the way to go about it, because everybody knows that the bundle of assets that the Mavs got is so bogus and not real. Like 2K didn't accept that. So let's move. We also answer the question, do you think AD will be a good fit with the Mavs? Of course he will. He's Anthony Davis.
And a 4.
Let's
a power forward he is.
Would Devin Booker be a good fit with any team in the NBA? Yeah.
Devin Booker, about the most pluggable player of all time. But we just seriously spent 31 minutes on this trade, and I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised we got out of it this fast. But let's Sucks for you guys. We're still talking about the Lakers. The Lakers got Mark Williams late last night for Dalton
2K
Connect.
rebuild legend.
Dalton Connect and the 2031 first round pick. And did they trade anyone else? It was just one for
Cam Reddish. That's who's over there.
He's gone.
Okay, so no one else. They traded. So basically, it was just Connect for it was Connect in the first round pick for Mark Williams. A lot of people were kind of a little bit up in arms.
While he's in Charlotte, maybe he can go back to Duke.
Back to Duke.
Yeah, he's gonna re-enroll. He has 3 years eligibility left. I hear you, Danny.
Connect, fit again, fit on the team, and we'll grade it because Mark. I don't think Mark Williams is the make or break for the Lakers making the championship. I'm sure that's Luka, but yeah, we can go through all that. I could start fit, love it. I mean, the pick and rolls between him and Bron, him and Luka, it's a match made in heaven. But I'll give the trade a B. It would be an A- if I knew this guy just was gonna be healthy and playing. But I do have to take that into consideration. I would probably give the same trade, like let's say the trade for Robert Williams III. I'd give it a B+. It would be an A+ if I just knew he wasn't made of paper mache. But that's what Mark Williams is. He was absolutely fantastic with LaMelo Ball. Not to say LaMelo doesn't make players better, but he's a little sporadic and unpredictable. I'd probably hate to play with him. LeBron and Luka can be a little bit easier. Give me a B, and I'm in love with the fit. And then Connect. Go get yours in Charlotte, bro, for sure.
He remind me of Dwight Howard, like the young Dwight Howard. True rim glazer.
Grazer or Glazer?
Glazer.
Rim glazer is crazy to say. That is crazy, but I'm gonna let you get your point off.
Nah, I just think he reminds me of the Dwight Howard fit on that big team.
Yeah, no, for sure. Good defender, lob catcher. 9'9" reach.
9'9" reach is nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Let's go to Chris though. What are your thoughts on the fit here? Grade for each team. I didn't give a grade for Charlotte. I'll give them a B+. You got what could be a good asset. It's maybe not as highly touted as it once was, and then you get an excellent young shooter with offensive upside, and you get Cam Reddish. So that probably takes it from an A- to a B.
To wave. You're a Utah Jazz Cam Reddish, unfortunately.
Send him to Boston. I swear we revive his career.
We don't want to see that.
Swear we revived that career. Send him and Ben Simmons to
Boston. No, thank you.
Look, he goes to Boston and he gonna end up like Yabusele.
Yeah.
I wish Yabusele would have got moved to a team that mattered, by the way. But I will say this. no offense, Danny. I will say this. I will say this.
He gets Supermax.
I think the fit. I think the fit for Mark Williams. I think it's a really good fit. Obviously, because they didn't. You don't want to start Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is good for like 12 to 15, like random energy minutes, but I wouldn't have him as a starter. So I think the fit's A1 right there. He's already a good lob catcher. Already is active around the rim. At the end of the day, that's really what you need for a Luka Bron type of prototype at the guard, and even with Reeves. Like so, Reeves is so underrated. Though Reeves is a very underrated passer. Like Reeves is very good, so I think that's very good for him as well. So I say the fit's really good. I actually like the trade, not more for the Hornets, but I really do like the trade for the Hornets. The Hornets already showed they're incompetent because everybody was asking about Nick Richards, and they got absolutely nothing back for him. In reality, nothing really that mattered. So I think in this one, even though you give up a center, obviously you have concerns about the injury history, but I think now you're 1 through 4 solidified. And you have a shooter there in between Brandon Miller, RTBNB, Bridges, and LaMelo Ball. So you have your 1 through 4. You have two. They have a lot of pick in this draft, and I think they have 2 picks in this 2025 draft, which you may be able to get another young. Like you can still have things to do. So I think this was a good asset to get, especially if the Lakers were desperate as they sounded to get a big man. I think you got a pretty decent return. So grade wise, For the Lakers, I give it a B plus. Because I think you had to make this type of move for now and for later, even if you have injury concerns. I think you still have to make the moves. I give it a B plus for them. I give it a B for Charlotte because I feel like you probably could have gotten a little more back for both the centers that you moved this year already because they were very highly talented. Oh, at least Richards I know was. So I give him a B, but I think it was a pretty solid move for both sides.
Yeah, can't be mad at that. Let's move on to the next trade. Moving back to Texas, but let's talk San Antonio this time. The Spurs get DeAaron Fox, who had 20 and 10 in his first game as a Spur. The Kings, they got Levine as their main piece, and they got, I think, 3 first-round picks. And the Bulls got Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and their own pick back that I think they were going to get anyway because it was like a Charlotte top 10 protective, if I'm not mistaken. But they were going to get it back anyway. So just Chicago Bulls, man. How about them? We can, I guess we can look at this trade a little differently. I guess we can rank them. A winner, I'll say liver, like they'll live.
Or
and then
liver.
A loser. Yeah. I was like, wait, that's like an organ. We'll say a winner,
Survivor.
a survivor. Yeah, that's much better. A liver. What am I doing? A survivor and a loser. Yeah.
A mitter. Well, I can start. I tell you the winner is. It's the San Antonio Spurs. You have to give up anything, but 2 people you probably didn't even care to lose anyway. Now, I respect Duke legend Trey Jones, by the way. I do respect Trey
Got to.
Zach Collins, not a good basketball player. To me, he's a good scrummish type of guy. Like, I want him on my team if the benches are going to get clear. But as far as basketball goes, you can find way better centers. So I think they gave up really. They didn't even give up the Hawks pick, or the Kings didn't get their pick.
They didn't give up Castle. They didn't give up Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson was penciled in for this trade.
I will say,
Sohan. Huh?
I will say, they probably asked for Castle, and they hung the phone up.
Well, DeAaron Fox said today or yesterday in an interview, he was like, "No, I want him there. Like, he's one of the reasons I want to come." And I was like, "No, that kind of reminds me of like when Kevin Garnett was getting traded to Boston. They had Rondo in the deal. He was like, no, I want that little African dude to stay on the team." He just assumed Rajon Rondo was African, but
one of the greatest personalities of all time. I love Kevin Garnett. But I think the Spurs easily win. They didn't really lose anything, and they gained a franchise point guard to put with your franchise center. So I think that's A+. They win, obviously.
Less Chris Paul minutes.
No, more Chris Paul minutes. DeAndre Fox playing the 2. You saw it. You saw it work. Yeah. Y'all saw it.
Castle playing the 3. I'm just saying.
I told you he wasn't a point guard. What I tell you, Tom? What I tell you?
Look, it's never over. It's never over.
At best.
Chris, he's
he could be okay. He had 2 guard. His secondary position can be point guard.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'm with that.
So when Chris Paul finally kicks the bucket, it leaves my great game.
Yeah, I forgot we don't love Chris Paul here. Chris Paul, my second favorite player of all time.
I have no gripe with Chris Paul. I'm gonna be honest. It's just like he's such an easy target, dude. He's
dirty, and he's small, and he always has a hand wrap. But the Kings and Bulls both lose. By the way, no winners on that side. The Kings, you lose because you give up your best player, and then you get a player who's a duplicate of 2 players you already have for the most part. You already have 2 scoring guards. In DeRozan, well, DeRozan's more forward now, but you already have Monk and DeRozan. Now you put Levine between them. So that's a lateral move to me that doesn't even make you better or worse. It's just and then you trade your best guy and just get I don't think that's anything. The Bulls are going to bull. That's what they're going to do. I hope all my Chicago fans are listening. The Bulls are going to bull. Outside of Michael Jordan carrying your franchise for that 6 years, 20 years, however long he was there, and for Derrick Rose's spurt, the Bulls have nothing and will be nothing, and you still employ Pat Williams. So that is the biggest problem for the Bulls. And on top of that, now you have 7 point guards on the roster. 7. And you extended Lonzo Ball. So I just don't understand what the Bulls even process of thinking is. I don't understand what for example, we talked about the Mavs trade. At least you can see a direction. The direction may be crazy to you, but at least Nico Harrison leaned, I want a 2 to 3 window and I want defense. Like that, at least you can say, okay, I can see that. I don't understand do the Bulls want to even tank? They kept Vucevic. Like I don't understand what these guys are doing. So I think the Kings and Bulls both lose. Spurs win. Spurs fleece everybody.
I think just because of the picks that the Kings got, I'm going to give them the survivor.
They got
one. Spurs obviously win. The Bulls, incompetent is not the word. Like, Vucevic was untradeable, and for the bad reason. Is you couldn't get anything for him. No one would want him. He revives his career, and you get nothing out of that. And now you're sitting with 6 point guards. Trey Jones would have certainly been a serviceable backup point guard anywhere. You could have just moved him. Are you going to pay Kobe White? Like, how is that going to go down? People would have loved having Kobe White on the team.
Is my goat Lonzo about to get bought out so Sixers can sign him?
No, they just agreed to a contract. I don't think they would buy him out after just giving him a deal. But you have that. That's a problem that you pay him as if he's supposed to be your starting guard, and you hand it over to Giddey. So Giddey's market is going to look like Josh Giddey's market's going to look weird in the offseason. It's just like,
and on top of that, you have to re-sign him. Like he's a restricted free agent, so you have to even re-sign him to even trade him. So you have to do a sign and trade.
Exactly. And at least with the Kings, the Kings, they're kind of still going to be stuck in no man's land because they just traded for LaVine. But it's a little different, though. They've been bad for so long. Like, I want to have one more crack at a play-in, low playoff seeding, just to give the fans something. Like, that is a little different. But the Bulls, I just don't know how you can go from the Derrick Rose era to this. It's impossible. Like, how? You know, I feel bad for Bears fans. Well, them too, but I feel bad for Bulls fans. It's just like I don't know what's worse right now, being a Mavs fan or being a Bulls fan. I'm gonna say Bulls fan because at least the Mavs, you're still a good basketball team. But like, dude, so yeah, that's why I think on that one, Danny.
Yeah, I agree. Everything you said. Not much else to say about this. Bulls suck.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you. Can you say it one more time? You didn't say a lot. Can you say it one more time?
Not the city Chicago, but
yes.
all the teams in Chicago, aside from the Cubs, they stink.
Double down. Thank you, Danny. You my guy. That's why I like Danny. I thank you.
Yeah, the Bulls suck. The Bulls aren't good, and I'm sorry because I'm sure a lot of Chris's friends watch this, and I'm sure they're from Chicago and they love the Bulls. Look, it's nothing personal, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Oh no, it's personal for me.
Cool. Lonzo's cool. This team sucks. Let's go on to a former Bull in a big trade. Jimmy Butler heading to the Warriors for Wiggins, Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a first-round pick. On top of that, the Warriors gave Jimmy a 2-year, $121 million extension. Me personally, for the Heat, I give it a B. I give it a B. I mean, Kyle Anderson's a nice, savvy vet. Andrew Wiggins is still a really good player. You get a first-round pick out of it for a team that is for sure going to suck by the time that pick rolls around. And you got your hands off Jimmy. You know, it feels fresh in Miami. Hero is for sure the guy. We already knew that, but he's for sure the guy. You keep Jaime, who hasn't necessarily wowed as much as he did in his first year, but, you know, it's something you could still work with, and you didn't have to give him up. For the Warriors, I'm going to give him a C. And the only reason I'm giving him a C is out of sheer respect that you refuse to let Steph Curry go out the way that the Lakers let Kobe Bryant go out. Jimmy's too old for that money. I think that's too much for Jimmy Butler. And as much as he's still a good shot creator, and that's something you desperately needed out of Steph Curry, you don't have any depth. Pods is still on your team.
If they make the finals, do you still feel this way?
A championship heals all wounds. That's simply how it goes.
I'm not upset about winning. Not winning it. They make the finals.
No, there's no medals for second place. No medals for second place at all. Now, if they see the Celtics, they're going to win. I'm just going to say that now. If they see the Celtics in the finals, they're going to win. Curry and Jimmy Butler is just like, it's peak rivalry. Don't get me wrong, but like, dude, that they would win. But I mean, if they I'm sorry, I'm kind of scrolling on Twitter. The Clippers are expecting to sign forward Cameron Edwards to a multi-year deal. Y'all know who Cam Edwards is, right? He's the dude who be making the skits.
Oh my God, that is
Yeah. He's this guy.
Yeah, he actually. Dude, I know he actually played basketball for real. I thought he was trolling.
Yeah, no, he was a G leaguer for a long time. Not a
That is
long time,
low-key.
but for a little bit.
That is low key.
Yeah, he's pretty hilarious. But anyway, we can go to Chris because he obviously had telling facial expressions about how he felt on this trade.
Boop, boop, boop. I'm sad for Warriors fans. Sorry for you. Jimmy's washed, and it's not even like a troll, bro. He's at his best. Jimmy's a good shot creator, dog on defense, all those things. Haven't seen that out of Jimmy in 2 years consistently, so I'm cool on that. And I think the biggest reason why I don't like the trade for the Warriors is I don't think wing was your only and biggest problem. I think Wiggins also played really well. Was playing well enough this year, so I don't think it's not a big enough upgrade to where it warrants. I don't even say what you give up. It's just just don't make a move if that's the thing. Wait till the offseason. Just don't do that. I think it's just kind of lateral. The name's bigger, but I don't know how much better the production is going to be. He may get 2 or 3 more assists because Wiggins is more on the rebound and scoring side. But outside of that, like, what do you really get in? So like I said, I'll give them a C because I respect kind of what Tone said. I respect them going and trying to make a splash for Curry. I get that. If Draymond wouldn't ruin their past, present, and future, maybe KD's the guy you make the splash for, and maybe that works out. So I respect the Warriors front office for trying. But I want to give Pat Riley and the Heat some credit. I was on Pat Riley's head, bro. Like, do something.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Right. And I think what he did here, maybe a downgrade, but at the same time, you get a pick back, you get a switchable two-way player in Andrew Wiggins. Also opens up the money for you to be able to bring in Davion Mitchell, who they have now, another elite point of attack defender. You get more Heat players in reality, and you still don't have any big money on 2026. So now you're a player in 2026. I think Pat Riley did everything he said he wanted to do from the beginning. So at the end of the day, don't discount the Godfather. I give the Heat a B for this trade because I think, and I kind of want to give him a B plus. I'm adding Davion Mitchell in this because he's a reason why they were able to even they got him because they was able to move Jimmy, and they didn't have a point guard really, and they got a defender and a point guard. So I'll give them a B plus for that.
Yeah, I agree. And as a wise man once said in Norman Powell, addition by subtraction.
Bang.
Danny, thoughts on Jimmy Butler? And I'm sorry that he didn't come home to you guys.
You shouldn't be sorry. I'm happy.
I'm sure he was begging for Paul George, Jimmy Butler swap just the other day.
No, I'm just happy the Sixers are selling every asset.
I don't think. Did you guys even make a trade? You traded Caleb Martin
and KJ Martin
and Reggie Jackson.
Waived.
Okay. You didn't. Okay, so you just said they traded every asset. You didn't trade a single asset.
That's the assets right there.
Paul George is the asset. Picks are the assets.
No, bro. We'd have to get rid of Paul George and picks. We're getting rid of assets to get rid of Paul George.
I can't believe y'all signed him to that deal and y'all thought it was a good idea.
Anyway, Jimmy Butler,
I knew it was a bad idea, though. Can't wait to victory lap that when you don't make the playoffs. But sorry, go ahead.
Jimmy Butler, great player, used to be. Over under 2 months for him, Draymond to fight, probably taking the under.
I have to agree there.
Yeah, it's cooked. I'm done. I can't really say much more about this trade. The Heat win by a landslide. Jimmy's 34. This is like, in the NFL, we talk about having to pay a player after a trade. In the NBA, we never talk about that.
In the NBA?
We never talk about having to pay a player after a trade in the NBA. It's only in the NFL.
Feel like we do
I get Danny's point, though. I think he's saying
I get what you mean. I get what you mean, but we definitely do.
It feels different.
You're talking about like, and it was big around like the time Coale got traded to Toronto, and like, the Celtics were looking to maybe trade for Anthony Davis. It's like, well, you're trading for a potential 1 year rental. That's more of the way it's looked at. It's like the risk that he might leave.
The thing is, though, In the
In the
NFL,
NFL,
they
if
won't
you're
play-
trading
they
for
won't
someone,
play.
you're probably guaranteed playing. You know,
But they won't play if you don't pay them. In the NFL, is the thing. There's precedent that they just won't
yeah.
play.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, to get through the rest of these trades, we'll try to rapid fire them a little bit. Actually, there is one more I want to kind of go into depth on. And surprisingly, it's not All-Star Brandon Ingram getting moved, and it's not big name Kyle Kuzma going to the Bucks. It's DeAndre Hunter going to the Cavs because,
Celtic
like,
stopper.
this is about nothing about DeAndre Hunter screams Celtic stopper. But hey, have at it, man. You keep projecting those Sixer insecurities. But this is the definition of we need something and we got it, and it's perfect. Big wing, shoot, plays defense. Their starting lineup has no weaknesses. Scoring defensively, yes, but there's not a bad player in the starting five. This is the best starting five in the East outside of Boston's when healthy. I mean, man, I'm just gonna assume this is leading to Trey going out the door this offseason. It's a hard assumption to make, but I gotta, what, I'm gonna pull up Sham's tweet real quick just so I can get all the details correct. But I'm going to give the Cavs an A here. I really like this for them. And then where am I? Oh, did I scroll past it already?
Remember the Lakers trade?
Here we go.
Mock trades for Trey Young last year.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
the
Hawks get Karis LeVert, Georges Niang, and 3 second-round picks and 2 swaps. So a lot of draft capital. Karis LeVert, you're definitely upgrading to DeAndre Hunter. Karis LeVert, still a great shot creator. I think he could play alongside Jalen Johnson when healthy, and if they do keep everybody else that's still on the team, you're kind of looking at the same team you had now, but maybe LeVert can be flipped for something. But A for the Cavs, give me like a C+, B- for the Hawks, and then the Cavs, your ceiling is beating Boston in a 7-game series, and that effectively will make you the NBA champion. It's your ceiling, though. Don't get comfortable. Because it did just get built, 2 nights ago or something like that.
Yep.
Yep.
A+ for the Cavs. A+. You gave up pretty much nothing. No, I like Karis LeVert. I think Karis LeVert is really good. But
Great
as far
off
as
the
what
bench
you were going to do, you probably weren't going to pay Karis LeVert again this summer. His contract was up. Georges Niang is a basketball player. He's not bad, but he is one of the basketball players in the NBA. I'll say that. And I think to get a guy like DeAndre Hunter, who I think we're looking at him as the 3, which I think at some point he'll be starting the 3. But what I'm looking at it as is a lot of times they look better with Mobley at the 5. This allows you to put DeAndre Hunter at the 4 for those spurts. Or if Mobley's in foul trouble, it allows you to put Hunter at the 4 and put Strus at the 3. You still get some height and shooting. I just think it makes them more versatile because I think that's one of the things that hurt the Cavs a lot. They really can play one way and dominate you. Any other way, you make them do something different, they look a little out of sorts. I think this can help with that, like just giving them another option. You know what I'm saying? Another strong wing. And y'all know, I have to say this too. DeAndre Hunter was not one of my favorite players. I had a lot bad to say about him. It's maybe because I was hoping Cam Reddish was going to be something. He took his place. I have to be real with myself. DeAndre Hunter's a really good basketball player, and I think this is an elite, probably the most important move. You could say Luka because he's the biggest name. I think this is probably the most important move outside of that Spurs move with Fox, only because I think they were already on the cusp. You keep a Coale too. You keep one of your better defenders. A+ move, man. A+. Weird for the Hawks. I don't understand what y'all doing, bro. Just free Trae Young at this point.
Yeah, it's a big move for the postseason, considering that, to beat the Celtics, you got to have like some dogs at those wing positions, because you could argue the Celtics best in the league at those spots. So definitely like the move. Danny, any thoughts on the trade? Want to give out a grade?
A+.
Agreed. Let's speed run through some of these other big name trades. I'm just going to say the trade, and you grade it for that team. Kuz to the Bucks.
B+.
I was thinking B plus too. Yeah, I think right there.
I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go B. I'll just go B. Chris Middleton. This is gonna sound funny as hell. Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart to the Wizards.
Bro, Chris Middleton got 2 bad ankles like a pregnant lady, man. He had to go.
B minus.
He had to go, though. He had to go.
This makes no sense. What the hell?
What happened to my glorious league, man? What is this? What is this Marcus Smart Middleton?
The more people try to talk about, like, I don't know, a lot of people, I feel as if they're trying to talk as if, like, the Bucks, they gave up too much, or they really moved off Chris Middleton for Kuz. And y'all are just looking at Kuz this year, and you're entirely overthinking it, I think. He's going to be in a lesser role. He's not putting up 15, 20 shots a game. Like, let's relax. Like, it's going to be okay. And I will take
ultimate small ball lineup for the Wizards, though. Bub Carrington, Jordan Poole, Marcus Smart, Chris Middleton.
I can't imagine Marcus Smart staying there. Like, is he eligible for a buyout?
I think he has 2 years left. I was looking at that too. I think he has 2 years left. So I don't know.
Look, someone buy him out so he can come home. Like, he doesn't want to play for y'all city. I promise you.
Go fund me right now. I got $20 for it. Free Marcus Smart, man.
$20. All right. Thinking of so lost in the sauce and all this. Jonas Valanciunas to the Kings.
D minus.
See,
certainly a move.
Unmoved.
I'm grading. I'm only grading this for completion. There's no grade on it.
D minus, dude. Like what? Okay, when does he play? What does he do when he plays? Because he can't shoot. Neither can Sabonis. So when do they get in? And yeah, bro.
I don't know. We got Bogdanovich to the Clippers.
I kind of like that. It's a B.
Yeah, I'll give it a C because I just don't see how much he plays, like where and how much. That's my only thing.
Terrence Mann role.
I'll say C plus. Yeah, Terrence Mann was essentially the only asset here. Bones Highland was rotting away on the bench. Hopefully, he can get some real burn in Atlanta.
Kobe Buffkin's out for the year.
Bones Highland gave me another reason not to like him besides the fact he's not good at basketball. Bronny got called a foul, but when you looked at the replay, Bronny actually swatted his shot, and they gave my glorious Prince a foul.
Literally,
I stayed up till 12 to watch Bronny get some run, and here goes Bones Highland taking up the spotlight. Also glad my Dalton Connect's gone. He can't ball hog during Bronny's garbage time.
I'm tired of that. Get out of here, Dalton.
Sick of it, bro. We don't care about you. You're a first-round pick. You're supposed to be running it with LeBron and them.
You should have got your 12 shots up in the 30 minutes you played before the end of the game. Don't come mess up Bronny 3 minutes. Come on, dude.
He's bugging. We got let's see. Okay, this one very minimal. Marjon Beauchamp to the Clippers. I'm kind of like a decent fan of his. I just feel like Doc Rivers doesn't like him.
I know it sounds bad, but I think the other side of it is more important.
Is Kevin Porter Jr. to the Bucks?
Only because I think they need him so much more than the Clippers need Beauchamp. Like in the sense of like I don't know where Beauchamp's going to play. I think KPJ, terrible person, but I think he's going to help that team so much off the bench. So I would say that.
And here's the last one. Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors.
I mean, Brandon Xavier Ingram, my boyfriend.
Brandon Xavier Ingram, as the man in the street interview said.
My boyfriend, Brandon Xavier Ingram.
Full government's crazy.
I had no idea. The middle name was
right. I'm going to be honest. The more I think about it, run me like a B for this. You got a nice little wing duo there of him and Barrett. Grady Dick's coming along. Obviously, you got IQ still there. I don't like them keeping on to Yaka Pirtle. I'm not gonna lie.
That's rough.
It's just like you could do. You know you could have what?
Bro, it puts him in purgatory. What does it do?
What do you mean? What does it do?
It puts them playing for the play-in, dude. They're not winning a playoff series.
They're currently one of the worst teams in the NBA. If they were to crack the play-in this year, consider it a success. Off the bat.
Tank for Cooper Flag.
Trusting the lottery is the dumbest thing you can do as an NBA team.
I agree with that, but like,
I'm sorry.
This move makes them too decent.
Who cares if they are at the end of the if they are at that though? If they here's what you're not. I don't think you're understanding here. We just watched the Pistons get the 5th overall pick 3 years in a row. Tanking for said generational talent is never worth it because you have what, a 14% chance? Like, it's not great. I would much if they got to the play-in with the record they have now, because the addition of Brandon Ingram, sign me up for next year as like the Raptors making the playoffs. Because this is like, that is a good team. The team that I'm just laying out is a solid basketball team. And I would rather take that than at one. I'm gonna say 100% missing my chance on Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper. You can't get Ron Harper. He doesn't play anymore.
Close enough though. Get his son.
And also, this kind of loops back to a conversation we had a while ago when I said that Russell Wilson was an F signing because it doesn't lead you anywhere. It keeps you in the same spot. You said, no, it's a C because he's better than Pickett. So is purgatory like,
It's a different level of purgatory.
how? The Raptors are now going from bad to solid, which is what you have to do when when you're becoming a good basketball team. You have to make stops.
Russ
The
is a
Steelers
1 year,
are just forever
Russ
mid.
is a 1 year thing though. Brandon Ingram is going to be here for.
They don't have to give him an extension. If he doesn't play up to their standards, they most certainly do not have to give him money at all. They can just go give it to Star J. Barrett, which is what you should do anyway.
They did.
They did indeed, because he's a good player.
I will say this though. I think this is my thing about the. I don't think it's. I wouldn't say F, but I don't think it's great. And this is the only reason why. I think, well, for one, the Pelicans idiots. Y'all trade them a year and a half too late, so this is the return you get. For the Raptors, I would love it if they didn't have Scotty and RJ already, because it's like you sliding Brandon Ingram in between.
I didn't even say
like,
Scotty Barnes. Oh my God, this team's a beast.
That's my problem though. They all do the same thing. Nobody's a knockdown shooter. Everybody likes to play with the ball in their hand to be able to be the best player that they can be. Now you're relying on quickly now to be a super valuable 3-point shooter at maybe 10 plus threes a game, because I don't want Scotty Barnes, Barrett, and Brandon Ingram taking 20 threes put together. So that's my only gripe on it is I think they have 3 of the same guy as their best player, and I think that makes it a little difficult for one of the 2 to grow. That's my only problem. But get the talent. Get the talent, though. You always go get the talent. In my opinion, NBA especially.
What if we just put Scotty Barnes at a small ball 5 and let him play the game like Bam?
I want Scotty to be the point guard. But
it would basically be that. I don't know.
I can see it.
I'm a fan. I don't know. That's just me.
I like the talent put together. I do like the talent put together. I'm just worried about fitting them 3. That's all.
Yeah, no, fit will always be something. But that's enough of the trade deadline. Let's get into y'all questions that y'all had for us. Of course, a lot of the questions had something related to the trade, and hopefully we answered that. Let's start with some of these. We kind of talked about it. What do y'all think was y'all best trade, y'all favorite trade, and what do you think was the worst trade?
Worst trade, the Jimmy Butler trade.
Okay.
I think the worst trade is the Valanciunas Kings trade. That's my worst trade. I think it sucked for both sides.
Well, that meant nothing to me.
I have to agree with Chris on that one. My favorite trade was Mark Williams to the Lakers. I'm glad the whole world's about to find out how good Mark Williams is.
Yeah, I think my favorite trade is Hunter to the Cavs. I was close between that and Fox. I just think that's just the perfect move, dude. They needed a swing badly, and I think that.
I love Fox. Anything that helps Wemby.
Yeah, I'm with
I like that. Who will win MVP this year?
Shavonte Gilgeous-Alexander.
Bingo. Is it Wednesday? Bet him for 50 points.
100%.
I say SGA as well. We answered 80s fit with the Mavericks. This one's funny because it says, "What's the best team you think can go? What's the best team you think can go for Cam Johnson?" I don't know if that's saying what is the highest ranked team that could go get, because technically it would be the Thunder.
I think it was who should have been. That's what he was saying. Like, who do we think should have been? And I think it's the Thunder, regardless.
Oh,
yeah. How you phrase it. I think it's the Thunder.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd probably agree, and they just didn't make a move.
So
let's see. Okay, so this one was a question asked by one of your followers, Chris, but I actually want to follow up with something that I got. So is OKC ready to make the jump as contenders? That's the original question. I think the clear answer is yes. Last year was kind of the, like last year was kind of the, okay, they're still youngish, like it's okay. Here's the follow-up question that I got from someone. If the Thunder did have to trade for another superstar, are they giving up Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren first?
Chet.
You think they're giving up Chet?
I think because they have so many
I think at most trades, I think it would be Jalen Williams. But it also depends. Like, let's say, like, let's think. Like a nice, let's say a good
AD.
young big, you know, like, let's say Anthony Davis is hypothetically on the board, and they're like, we want one or the other. Well, I don't know. If you pair AD with Chet,
I think Dub's just the. I mean,
I think Dub's out the window. Never mind. In a lot of situations, I think Dub's out the window.
I think people would be more so. Chet, he's not injury prone, but he's been hurt a lot. I missed the whole year. Missed a lot of this year.
Okay. Let's cut the kid some slack. LeBron's aura knocked him out for a whole year. I think that's
aura.
Honestly, it's a miracle he's still playing our game. That's not even glaze. That's just facts. Okay. Let's move on. We already talked Mark Williams fit. We already talked Braun fit or Luka Braun fit. NBA Finals predictions. I can't remember what mine was at the beginning of the year.
Wait,
I think mine was Lakers Celtics.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. Especially for before the season. I'm just gonna say Thunder Celtics. That just seems the way it's steamrolling at this rate.
Celtics versus Nuggets.
Okay. Chris, what do you want to say, man?
Lakers cast in LeBron walk-off series. You heard it here first.
Cavs making it out the East. That's the most ridiculous part about it all.
LeBron's starting to look like Brandon Graham.
LeBron's starting to look like Delroy Lindo more.
Winner. I would say we kind of said favorite trades, least favorite, worst trades. That kind of goes winner loser. If I had to give out like two quick winners, Lakers, Cavs, they'd be two winners. And if I had to give some losers,
Bulls, Kings.
Bulls, Kings. I guess if I have to pick someone who made a trade, it would be the Kings. I would really say like Bulls.
How about the Suns? They got rid of Nurkic.
I think Bulls. I like that. Yeah. I guess I was gonna say Bulls Suns because like the Suns, this team's clearly not cutting it, and it's not even like you can do anything with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. On the broadcast last night, they said they're 26-11 when they get to suit up together, but they're just never healthy at the same time. So, I'll go Bulls Suns though. I don't like the way they didn't shake anything up. We talked about the Jimmy trade. What trades went down that could have been handled better, or what trades do you think would have been better that have been made so far? So I guess trades that have been made, how would we upgrade them? Is there any just for starters, if you're the Mavericks, get more assets. If you're the Bulls, you get more assets in that three. How do the Kings end up with the three? Well, I guess they end up with 3 first-round picks because they're the one getting rid of the best player. But Bulls, you could have just threw in a guard. Maybe you would have got an extra pick for it. That's what I'm
on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I think the Kings should have gotten more back. Obviously, you could say the Mavs could have gotten more back. So I'd say the Mavs though, just because
we're not blanking that beam no more. That beam turning off.
All right. Is this enough for the Lakers to make a deep postseason run? We already answered that. We think their ceiling is championship. This one's a pretty goofy one. What can Bronny learn from Luka?
I'll tell you what Bronny can learn. What Bronny can learn is how to cancel out the noise, right?
I think that's a good one. I mean, his dad is LeBron, but
his dad doesn't even hear noise because he's too busy lying through it, saying he doesn't hear it.
He lives on a different spiritual plane than the rest of us, of course.
And he lives a lie. He's a liar. He's the biggest liar I've ever seen in my life. But honestly, in real life, what I think the biggest thing Luka can learn from Brian. I mean, Brian can learn from Luka. Luka can learn from Brian now. What Brian can learn from Luka, I don't know, because I think anything he can learn from Luka, he probably can learn from his dad, because I think they play similar enough besides athleticism. So I don't know. Good one.
I think maybe anything that could be repeated, Bronny could be like, oh, all right, that's real stuff. That's not my dad being a cornball.
Yeah. Or another language. That'd probably be the best thing. He can learn that language because Luka knows like 6 languages. That's a fact.
That is true. That is true.
The other language is basketball IQ.
That is what I mean. LeBron has the highest ever, but I mean, like, maybe it's so like oversaturated in Bronny's head. Bronny and Luka were sitting with each other basically the whole game.
Besties.
So,
besties.
Yeah. I mean, you have Bron Jr. and what was once deemed Bron 2.0 until they realized you got to play at least a little bit of defense in your prime.
Don't worry about it, though. It's LeBron to Doncic.
LeBron to Doncic. There we go. All right. This question is asking to be heard by Chris. Replace one event from All-Star Weekend with another.
Yes, please. Take that crap dunk contest out. Stop using Mac McClung as a circus animal so you can entertain us. Mac McClung's a better basketball player than that, and I want y'all to respect his basketball, not just dunking.
Delaware Blue Coat legend.
Get that crap out of that elite G League player, by the way, and a Lakeland Magic legend too. Play for the Magic, by the way. Also, you replace that mess with a 1v1 or a 2v2 with besties. LeBron and Kate. Who's LeBron's bestie? LeBron and Anthony Davis get to swim again together. You know, something fun. I don't want to see
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie versus anybody. I'm taking them too, by the way. But I will say something like that. I think a 1v1 or 2v2 tournament to replace maybe not even the dunk contest, because dunk contest is a staple. I would say the skills challenge is kind of trash now, the way they do it. I don't really like it. So I would say replace one of those with 1v1.
I think that's fair.
Something like that.
I will say if it's a 2v2 tournament, but they have to be teammates, I can assure you I think the finals would be KD and Book versus Tatum and Brown.
Over Luka and Brown?
Hey, Embiid and Maxey gonna be up there.
Luka gotta get a stop. That's the bad part.
Embiid can't play, Danny, because that's adding more games to him. He won't do it. He won't do it.
He'd play. Yo, Chris, it's a fun game though. He played in the Olympics. He'll play.
Well, you see what Embiid did? Went out there 35 minutes, triple-double. He said, all right, y'all got it tomorrow. I'm cool.
He still had a negative 14 plus minus, though.
Yeah.
Does he really impact the game, you know?
I make sure to put that plus minus and that true shooting stat way off my sheet. I don't even see that. Get that out of here.
Oh, plus minus is, of course, the ultimate way to decide if the team is better with a guy on and off the court. What do you mean?
That is true.
is the ultimate way. Certainly, it's not a player's on-off net rating. Now, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA politics. What are some suggestions you guys have for how the NBA can increase its viewership and improve public interest? I think it's a really good one. I think for one, what do you say?
Embrace Wembanyama.
That kind of goes in the next question too.
Put the Basketball Hall of Fame in France.
Okay. Let's put the American Basketball Hall of Fame in France. Let's do it, man. But no, that goes a part of it though. I think they need to do a better job marketing your clear-cut biggest stars: Wemby, Tatum, SGA, Luka. They just really need to market the life out of these guys. Anthony Edwards is a amazing personality that the casual fans absolutely love. Maybe you even have to push him more than a guy like Tatum, because Jason Tatum is just going to be remembered the same as like Tim Duncan, this guy who stepped on the court, did his business, and got on out of there. Wing Duncan.
Better dressing like Tim Duncan, by the way. Way better dressing.
Tim Duncan put that on, man. We're not going to do
He did put on them big jeans and big shirts. You're right.
Come on, bro. Because if he put that on today, we'd be talking about he got style, man. Baggy jeans.
Jordan Clarkson wishes he could.
No, Tatum. That's why he's always first or second team all league fits. Him and SGA been on the team ever since they got in the league.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing to increase viewership is taking the referee out of the spotlight. And by that, I mean, whenever it's a review, I got to have 3 referees come tell me 3 different things before the review is even done. And then on top of that, I got to see refs talking to people, giving them make them to a point like NFL refs. I don't want to even see them on my screen unless I have to. I think that's a big deal because you'll get a lot of complaining about refs out of the way. A lot of that will be out of the way. So I think that's a big deal. And I think what you said, Tony, is probably most important. You got to market your guys. Even though you wanted Zion and Ja to be your faces, we know that. Unfortunately, they're just not doing that right now. So you have to do what you have. So I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think another one that kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, I didn't answer the question with your All-Star weekend has to be great. I think because it's a moment. Celebrities, like people who are stans of celebrity, like people want to know what's Justin Bieber up to this weekend. What is Billie Eilish up to this weekend? They're probably at All-Star weekend because they know so and so, and they just want to go watch the event. So I think improving that product. I think one way you can improve that product. I still like the dunk contest because every couple of years we get, a really good battle. Bringing in McClung is one way to get at least one good dunker. And being creative after all these years is tough. But I think a way they can do that is just get back to the basics, You're not going to do something that's never been done before unless you're Aaron Gordon or Zach LaVine. That's fine. But if you can hit a nice East Bay off the side of the backboard, something like that, which, that ain't easy. Don't get me wrong. But, it's all about the smoothness of it nowadays. I think if they could just get back to the basics of excellent dunks, that could be, one thing. What would I take away? Does celebrity game count? One thing I hate about the celebrity game, why are WNBA players in it? Why are professional basketball players in a celebrity?
Because they're celebrities.
They're professional basketball players. It's ridiculous. Can't you? I miss when the game was like Justin Bieber and Chris Brown. These are celebrities who hoop. These guys hoop.
Man,
they're pretty good.
Man, don't put Chris Brown out there with a bunch of WNBA players.
All right, man.
Debunked, by the way. Debunked, by the way.
I remember I watched a really good documentary about that. I can't remember, so I'm not gonna. My memory sucks, so I'm not gonna act like I remember anything from it. But I know I remember it. I remember liking it. But like Myles Garrett was in the game, dude. He's a monster. Bring in
fake player.
I don't know. Just bring in, you can bring in people, professional athletes from other sports. Bring in professionals who just grew up playing.
Super Bowl champion Devontae Smith.
Y'all don't want to see Devontae Smith, Cooper DeJean in that thing. It'll get nasty for the other team.
Or you don't want to see Ryan Williams from Alabama, by the way. I don't know if y'all seen, but he can.
Oh, he hoops. He hoops.
Actually,
Cooper DeJean's nasty because bro's like 5'11", and he'll do like a hop step into like just a mean jam or something. He was nasty in high school.
He got stupid rap. He does.
And then here's the next question. This will be our last question, which I really like. And like Danny said, it kind of, like I said, for Danny's answer, it kind of goes to this. Why do you think there hasn't been a successful passing of the torch in the league for the post-LeBron era? Is it because LeBron is still playing at a high level, or is it because most of the top players are non-American? I think the latter there is a really good point. Jokic, not the most marketable guy. We could just be honest.
Oh, we won now. It's time to go home. Very good.
Yeah, he's very about his business. I'm not mad at him for that. Like he said, no one likes their job, and if they do, they're lying. Giannis, I feel as if Giannis, even if he's from Greece, just an amazing personality in my mind. I feel but he kind of fell in a weird time where like LeBron was still. Draymond said this perfectly about why people don't think about Kobe as the GOAT, because Kobe was kind of dominating while Mike was in the league, but he was with Shaq. And then when he got on his solo, LeBron was already the best in the world. So that was kind of thing with Giannis. It's like by the time he became best in the world, it was like you got like LeBron still cooking, and then you also got some other guys coming up like Luka. So I think I think the reason there hasn't been, someone for post-LeBron is kind of because LeBron's still good. You don't really got to worry about it right now. You still got LeBron, you still got Curry, you still got KD. It's not something you have to worry about at the moment. But I also do believe that because it's like LeBron, we followed him through high school. KD followed him through high school to college into the league. Curry, phenomenon at Davidson, and then we followed him into the league. It's like Wemby, no one's watching. We're, Metro 92. Jokic was a second-round pick. No one was worried about him. Luka, the casual fan isn't watching EuroLeague. Like, if you really had to pick, it would be Jason Tatum. Gatorade Player of the Year at Chaminade. Top 3 player in the NCAA at Duke. And then heading into the most storied franchise in NBA history. That is the ideal. Like, that's a storybook. I don't know. That's a marketable guy, but he has the personality of a potato chip, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think that's more for the reason too. I think it's a little bit of both. Like the best guys right now are probably 3 out of 5 being European, and LeBron just you don't have to. I don't think he's made you just yet because he's still probably the most marketable guy in the NBA current days because it's LeBron James. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I would lean towards American stars not being necessarily at the top right now. I think that's probably the deal.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, viewership's down. They spend too long at the model.
And start the game on time, dude.
That too. Go ahead, Danny. What were you about to say?
Well, I have a question for Chris. We talked about it last night once we finished the Q&A. Chris, would you rather your favorite football team win 3 straight Super Bowls or your favorite basketball team win 10 straight NBA championships?
Well, LeBron's my favorite basketball team till he retires. So if he wins 10 straight championships, I would be ecstatic because at that point, nobody can tell me anything about a bald guy. So that would be beautiful for me. But then at the same time, if my favorite football team was to win 3 championships in a row, I'm not hearing nothing. Brady, Mahomes, Brady. I'm not hearing anything. So then I'll be insufferable either way. So either one.
Yo, and the flip side, would you rather lose 10 Super Bowls in a row or lose 10 NBA finals in a row?
Well, I watched LeBron go to 10 finals and only win, or 11 finals, only win 4 of them. So I think I can stomach that. So I'd say probably to lose 10 in a row, NBA championship. Yeah.
Yo, he asked me that question. I was like, I have to go NBA championships because at that point, like, I'll be ecstatic with either. Don't get me wrong, but for one, the Celtics are for sure the greatest franchise in the history of sports. Period. They'd be the only team to have 2 8-peats. Like, that'd be the only team with one of those anyway. And the second, Jason Tatum will be the greatest basketball player of all time. He'll have the numbers, he'll have the accolades, the All NBA teams. I'm sure he's cracking an MVP or 2 around that time.
Yeah, but like,
and he'll have 11 championships with 10 Finals MVPs.
If Hurts won 10 straight, he'd be the GOAT.
Yeah, I know, but the question you said it's 3 for my NFL team and 10 for the NBA team. If it's 10 and 10, still I think Tatum will probably have a better argument for. Well, because football fans, they love rings, so maybe I don't know.
Bro, but if you have 10 rings, in my opinion, as a quarterback, you're the GOAT.
Tatum got 10 rings, bro. You can't talk to me about no LeBron, no Mike, no Kobe.
Bill Russell better though.
True, that is true because he has more rings. That's facts. If you have more rings, you are better, and that's facts. Patrick McCaw better than Jason Tatum. Patrick McCaw better than
Chris Paul.
A lot of people are better than Chris Paul. Crazy. Jaden Springer better than Chris Paul.
Yeah, just
Xavier Tillman better than Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Ring check. Ring check. I'm sorry. That's how I'm gonna be on Sunday when Jalen Hurts wins. I'm texting Chris. I'm like, so like, yeah, those MVPs are cool, but like, no Barty.
I have nothing to say either. I have literally 0 to say.
I'm just gonna text him no Barty.
Yeah. No Barty. If I see the Eagles winning by like 7 with some minutes left, I might just throw my phone in the toilet so nobody can say anything to me. I don't know yet.
Well, if we're up 7 with a couple minutes left, I can assure you the Chiefs are winning that football game.
Oh.
It's not even a choke thing. I promise you, it's not a choke thing. It's just that's a game Mahomes is built to win. So
And a 2-point conversion.
Wait. To be fair though, the Eagles were up 8 on the Patriots with like 4 minutes left, and a guy strip sack. We were 5 actually.
No, yeah, we were up 5. We got the strip sack. We didn't chew down enough time, so we only went up 8. And then he got the ball back at like his own 10. Made 3 passes to get up to the 50-yard line. We're like, dude, what is happening?
Didn't they go 3 and out?
And Graham has him in his grasp. Brady shakes Brandon Graham off and then lets it fly. 3 PIs not called later. We're Super Bowl champions, baby. Yeah, they mauled Rob Gronkowski on the way to the end zone. It was so bad. But I'm truly not.
Like a problem for losers.
Same thing happening this weekend. CJ Gardner-Johnson takes out Travis Kelce on the final Hail Mary. Reed Blankenship picks it off.
Unfortunately, it's the Chiefs, so they call it. They get the ball at the 1. Then they tush push and it gives you the ultimate FU.
They tush push. Jalen Carter, peanut punch. Jordan Davis, 99-yard return. We're up.
Mahomes, they run the play. Mahomes rolls out right, throws a little motion in and out route.
Oh, and it slips out of his hands. Yep.
Mark Andrews style.
Dak Prescott style slips out of his hands.
Mark Andrews style.
You already see the Mahomes magic is working his way through the Eagles with the illness.
Carter's sick, dude. It's so.
It's literally just Chemical X. What they did was went to the pop up. Hey man, how do you make this? And Mahomes said, "Don't worry, I already got some." Went in there, dumped in the Eagles locker room, ran out. Now everybody's sick.
That's crazy, man. It's because they're around all those reporters all day at Radio Row and Media Week and whatnot. But
thank you, Jameis Winston, for making it beautiful. Jameis Winston is doing work. Super Bowl.
Yeah. And and there are so many media companies down there that people are like, oh, that's such a stupid question. Okay, I can admit asking Patrick Mahomes about the ref is you fumbled a once in a lifetime opportunity. You're not affiliated with nothing that has to worry about officiating. You just fumbled. You asked a dumb question. But like Nickelodeon's down there. Yeah, they're gonna ask the players about Krabby Patties, man. It's what they do. Like if Cartoon Network's down there, like they're gonna ask, they're gonna be like, so like, what's the best out of these 3 shows? They're gonna say regular show, Gumball, and Adventure Time. Like that's just how it's gonna go, man. So how it's gonna go, and the answer is Adventure Time. But
100%.
That being said, hopefully we answered all of y'all NBA questions. And again, if y'all ever have questions, slide them on. Maybe we'll make a segment out of it. But hope everyone enjoyed the trade deadline. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Remember, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to audio, leave a like, subscribe, 5-star, all the good stuff. From AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.